My most anticipated movie of this year is MaXXXine. I just got out of the theater. I saw the movie. I'm going to give you my overall thoughts. So anyway, let's do this. MaXXXine stars Mia Goth, Kevin Bacon, Elizabeth Debicki, and is directed by Ty West. What's up, guys? Welcome to a brand new 2024 review. I just got out of the theater. I saw MaXXXine, my most anticipated movie of the year, the closing chapter of the X trilogy. Just to catch you up, we had started out with X, and then a few months later, we had Pearl, which was a prequel to X that took place in the 20s, I believe, late 20s. Whereas X took place in the 70s. So this one takes place in 1985 in the 80s. And it is a follow-up to really the character MaXXXine from X, who wanted to be a star. And she became an adult film star.
Name 5 celebrities who got their start in horror movies.
Jamie Lee Curtis, John Travolta, Demi Moore, Brooke Shields, and
MaXXXine fucking minx.
Looking at the trailer for this movie, it looked irresistible. I love 80s slasher movies anyway, and this is set up like that with a giallo touch to it, even down to the killer wearing black gloves, black trench coat. Don't worry, this is stuff that's in the trailer. I will be doing a full spoiler review on this movie because the last act, of course, is going to have spoilery type stuff. All right, so and of course I'm not going to spoil that stuff for you in this review. I'm just going to give you my overall thoughts on the movie because there's a lot of things I could actually talk about in that spoiler review that I can't discuss in this review. And you know what? I'll give you up front, I liked the movie. I didn't love the movie. And this was the movie that I wanted to be my #1 movie of the year. But having said that, I still like the movie, okay? I know some people, in this day and age, everything's got to be the greatest thing ever or the biggest pile of shit on the planet. I'm guilty of maybe some of my reviews saying stuff is gutter trash. But if I say that, I mean it really is gutter trash, all right? But there's a lot of movies that kind of fall in the middle. And unfortunately, I think this one does fall in the middle. There is some really fun, good stuff about MaXXXine. But I just don't think it reached the heights that, say, X and really even Pearl did. So let's start you off with a quick plot synopsis. Again, follow up to X, the character of MaXXXine. This is like 7-8 years later. I think X took place in 78, 79, somewhere around that time frame. And, visually, they really got the character right because Mia Goth does look older in this movie, even though the movie was filmed 2 years after this movie. It might have even been filmed a year after X. But, years down the road, if you told me that this movie actually was filmed 5 years later, I would probably believe you. So they do a good job on that front. But opening up the movie, MaXXXine is trying out for her big break. Her past is in the adult film industry. There have been cases of adult film stars. Sylvester Stallone, people, okay? He wasn't really an adult film star, but he did an adult movie. And then, of course, Tracy Lords. Everybody knows about Tracy Lords and the scandal behind her whole deal. But she ended up doing big Hollywood movies. So you can draw that comparison here. This takes place along the same time as the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez. As far as if those murders tie into these murders, I'm not going to go into that. I'll go into that in the spoiler review. But we know that the murders in this movie take place alongside the Night Stalker murders. Now, an important character in this movie is Kevin Bacon. He is this like private investigator working for, could be the killer, maybe not the killer. We don't really know, right? But he is constantly on MaXXXine's tail, really just putting pressure on her for his customer. Let's just say that. And he's really a thorn in her side. And eventually she gets really annoyed with him. But some of her friends in the adult film industry are becoming victims. The killer puts a pentagram on his victims, marking them. Again, all stuff in the trailer. All right, I have to say that. Now, let's start off with the good of this movie. Mia Goth's great in the movie, okay? This isn't like her best of the trilogy, I think. But when she gets the chance to shine, she really shines. Unfortunately, I think I would have liked a little more of that. But again, they do make a stamp when she does. There's some really great scenes. Look, without spoiling anything, the character MaXXXine is always like 2 steps ahead of the people that are being a pain in her ass or even are trying to kill her. You'll see that in the movie, and it's moments where you really cheer for the character. This is a character that I could see her in future movies, and I would go in a heartbeat. She's an irresistible character. Now, the look of the film, it's more of a 16mm film like X was. I love that about it. The music is great. You definitely feel like you're in the 80s. It has a lot of those 80s slasher movie cliches, tropes, and I don't mean that in a bad way at all. Even like Giallo tropes it has in here, which is cool. On the music front, I heard I'm Insane by Rat, and that's a song I never would have thought I would hear in a any movie, really, because it's more of a deep cut on Out of the Cellar, which is like their most successful album, and usually Round and Round is the one that gets played on that one. But I'm Insane, that's one of my all-time favorite Rat songs, and as soon as that song played, I was like, oh shit. And by the way, that's the only time you'll probably ever hear that in a review for this movie. All the other reviews you hear for this, they will not mention Rat, I'm Insane, okay? That is my stamp on the review. Prove me wrong, people, all right? I'm Insane. I love that freaking song. As far as the kills go, I guess this is where we go middling here. Yeah, there are some good kills. Ty West doesn't hold back in that department. Again, this is like an 80s slasher. I think I would have wanted a little bit more kills. I think this movie focuses more on the whole mystery aspect of the movie. It's sort of 2 stories going at the same time because you're following MaXXXine's pretty much day-to-day life. She gets this part and she's meeting people in the business, intertwined with, I guess, the murder mystery aspect of the movie as well. There are a lot of characters in this movie, and the movie tries to make time for all of them. Dipping my big toe in the cons, I do think a lot of the characters, especially like Kevin Bacon, even the 2 detectives, one of them is played by Michelle Monaghan, they sort of come across as a little bit more of a caricature. It is fun that MaXXXine's always 2 steps ahead of Kevin Bacon, but you really don't take him that seriously. Even the performance by Kevin Bacon, it's not a bad performance. He's a great actor, but it's a little cartoony. So in the end, I'm going to go right down the middle with MaXXXine. There's a lot more that I could talk about in the spoiler review, especially having to do with the final act. I will say, as far as the final act, it didn't live up to my expectations, and that's a personal thing for me. So that might not be a con for you guys, all right? You have to see the movie for yourself to make your own decision. But overall, I'm going to give it a high humdrum. I still had a really good time with MaXXXine. It didn't turn out to be the best movie of the year like I wanted it to be, but I had a decent time with it. All right, so let me know your thoughts for MaXXXine in the comments. Looking forward to hearing them. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day, and on Fridays, we do Free for Fridays. Follow my Drumdums on my social, support me on Patreon, buy me a coffee. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Drumdum out.